Hey, Nick, did you ever hear about the time they asked Ron Artest about road trips?
About road trips. What do you say?
He said, "Oh, road trips. I thought you said roaches. I got a lot of bad thoughts about roaches. I grew up around roaches. I grew up around roaches, and it was bad. Too many of them. Too many friends. I've got a lot of roach friends. They wake up in my cereal. They wake up, Ron, what's up? Good morning. One leg in my macaroni, the other leg in my corn. They just make themselves comfortable at home. They're my friends. I like roaches. I mean, I don't want to be around them. I want to leave them where they at. But yeah, I know a lot of them. And yeah, we do go on a lot of road trips. What's up, y'all? It is March 29th, 2024. We are the HoopStorians. I'm Tony Styles. My man over there is Unique.
What up?
Uh, Getting to this day in NBA history, March 29th, 1990. Houston's Hakeem Olajuwon became just the third player, along with Nate Thurman and Alvin Robertson, to record a quadruple double with 18 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists, 11 blocks in the Rockets' 120-94 win over Milwaukee. 4 years later, David Robinson became the fourth NBA player to record a quadruple double. Two questions on that. One, why do you think with the explosion we've seen in triple doubles, why do you think we haven't seen a quadruple double in 30 years?
I mean, that's actually way harder when you think about it because, I mean, what would it consist of? Somebody getting steals,
Or
points,
blocks?
blocks, and what we got? Steals, blocks, points, and assists. It's not gonna be so easy to dish 10 assists, get 10 blocks, 10 steals, or 10 rebounds all in one game. I'm not saying it's easy to get a triple double. You feel me? Look at how hard it is to get triple doubles. So when you add an extra 10 when we're not seeing people average triple doubles like that, you feel me? We're not even seeing people get very many triple doubles throughout seasons like that. So adding an extra 10 on top of that, yeah, that's definitely going to be a little more difficult than it probably seems from us watching, but that's a lot of work to put in. That's basically you spent the entire game doing everything. One no flaws in your game that night.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is since everybody else is already getting more triple doubles, like for
Mhm.
example, I don't know who's leading the league. I would guess Jokic. Let's look it up, just make sure I give you the right number. How many triple doubles does Jokic have this season? Um, where are we at? Let's see. He has 22 this season, and the season's not over. The league leader in the last year with David Robinson was five triple doubles. So we're seeing players with less triple doubles getting more quadruple doubles, but now we're seeing players with more triple doubles. And remember, we're done with the 90s. Those people were plumbers and insurance salesmen and all that. So we have all these more skilled players now. Why can't we get a quadruple double?
I
That's what
feel
I don't
like
get.
I feel like it also has something to do with the way the game is played these days as well. Because you got to remember, the rules are a little different as far as the way that these players can interact or the way that they can guard each other. You know, it's not a lot of body going on and stuff like that. So it's different factors that are contributing to why some of these other categories there aren't really increasing in.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with. I think it's because the defensive numbers have clearly gone down, even though Draymond's got a couple triple doubles with defensive stats. And that was this day in NBA history. Oh man. So I don't know, bro. What you want to talk about today in the current state of the NBA? You got anything you want to bring up?
Yeah, I actually want to. You did just mention Dre. I actually want to bring up Draymond. Reason I want to bring up Draymond is because, for one, I got to give him his credit for what he's done for the Warriors as far as being part of their core, being part of the pieces that held them together, being the leader. Like, Dre has been to jail from the time that the Warriors started coming together and forming their dynasty. And he's a major part of that. So I can't take that away from him. The issue with that is with him being such an important and integral part of their success, he's also been the most detrimental to it as well. We're seeing him rescue them in some instances and then also cost them. we're seeing him rescue them in a game or two, but then ultimately cost them a series or cost them potential playoff spots or even cost them just a postseason period. So I wanted to get into what's your
Do you,
stance on Dre these days? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. It seems like he's stat padding right now. It seems like he's really pumping up his ejections. He's not even going through a whole quarter now before he gets them. I don't know. We recently had that gambling scandal where they were putting like $500,000 on people with the over or with the under, and then they were pulling. I forget which player that was, but with Toronto where they were pulling him, and he wasn't getting his minutes. So like people were getting like the $500,000, and people are looking into like if they're running scams, if they're running betting fraud, things like that. And
mhm.
it seems to me like the other night when Draymond got suspended, he had the under on minutes because I don't even know what there was so upset about. It was a regular foul, and he just, for lack of a better term, he just couldn't shut the fuck up. Like, bro, it's
Yeah,
3.5 minutes into the game. It's not that big a call. He got the foul, let him shoot the free throws. Yo, if you want to say, hey man, I don't think that was a foul, cool, whatever. But I don't get why he just kept going and kept. Then they went to commercial break. We got back from commercial. They were like, yeah, he's gone. Like, so I don't get it in that regard. What's going on there? So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'll put it this way: since he's turned into Graymond, like
oh man,
he been
he
way more
aging.
wild. He been way more wild. Did you see the one where he was he was threatening Paul Pierce? We looked like he was gonna shank him, calling him a pussy, throwing up the four fingers.
Dre is wilding. So here's how I look at it. When Dre is getting upset and he can't control himself, somebody needs to step in. I don't know why no one is stepping in. I don't know what's going on there. And that's part of like the argument as far as should he have been ejected. So you have people that are looking, I'll get back to the point I was about to make, but you have people that are looking at it like, should he have gotten ejected for that? Yeah, that might have been petty. But at the same time, when you already know you have a target, when you already have a history, when you already just him himself, he feels as though everybody's coming after him. He feels like the officials are targeting him. So my thing is, if this is the way you're feeling, why are you giving him a reason? No one's telling you to be a punk. We're telling you to be smarter. His team is telling him to be smarter. It's crazy, especially as a fan of basketball and a fan of the Warriors, watching them fall the way they did from glory. And a lot of it has to do with him. I'm not taking credit away from the success that he helped them get, but that team is deteriorating and it's because of him. It starts with the KD. Look at what KD was helping them do. Dre gets involved, he gets in his feelings. KD gone. Jordan Poole starts blowing up. Whatever happened between them, Dre gets in his feelings. Boom, stills on him. Now he's out of there. And we're at the end of the season.
2016 finals.
You feel me? Cost them the whole series. So what I was gonna say though is we're getting to the end of their careers. You feel me? Steph is trying, and I'm not saying Dre should care what Steph is trying, but as his teammate, as somebody that both of your legacies are tied together. You don't want to make sure that it looks like you played with the greatest player ever. You want to ruin that legacy. Why? Because you want to be tough. Go be an MMA fighter. Go box or something like that. You want to NBA? I'm not saying be a punk, but what I'm saying is be smart. It makes no sense that you're a veteran, you're the leader of the team, but you can't hold your composure. You can't even make it through the first quarter before you upset somebody,
Um,
before you ready to fight over nothing.
well, I don't know. I don't think Draymond really wants to be an MMA fighter or a boxer because it seems like Draymond's really only with the shits when the other guy isn't. And I don't know if that's
Mm,
true or not. I'm just saying, like, for example, like when Tristan Thompson punched him in the face at the club, Draymond didn't hit him back. He just got punched. Because when Draymond walked up to him, like, what's up? Like, you could clearly see, nah, bro, there ain't no refs, ain't nobody stopping us now. Let's get it on. So I don't know. I don't know if Draymond wants that. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Draymond. He did say this as far as the Steph Curry point. He said that he ain't gonna do no farewell tour. He said he can't after the shit he talked to Paul Pierce. He said so. Too many people will be on him about that. He said he's only gonna play like another 3 years, anyways. That's his plan. And he said he planned on actually. He was thinking that he'd probably retire when Steph retires.
I mean, he should, but the way he's playing right now and the way he's behaving, he might not make it to Steph's retirement before he's tossed out the league. or off the team. And that's the other thing. It's like, as a warrior, like the organization, do you keep him based on what he's done, or do you get rid of him based on what he's doing?
What would you do?
It's funny because my sister and I had this conversation earlier this season. And I feel bad for saying this. I felt as though everybody needed to leave. Earlier this season, I said get rid of everybody other than GP2, um, Pajinski, um, Trace, Jackson, keep him. I even said that Clay can go. I was like, Clay can go. And
What
that's why
about
I feel
Steph?
bad. No,
Mm.
I mean, you got to keep Steph. The whole
But,
reason I
but
was
but
saying keep them.
but the thing is
Oh,
like Clay can go. Who you going to trade Clay for at that point? He's making all this money and he's ineffective. What are you going to get?
I mean, as ineffective as he was at the time, I felt like anything would be better. I mean, why not get a DeRozan for Clay?
I
I'm not
wouldn't have
saying I
traded
want to play the.
DeRozan was way better. DeRozan, yeah, I wouldn't have traded DeRozan. I'm talking about you're going to have to get somebody like, yeah, I mean, here I'll put it this way: Suns is my favorite team. If you were like Clay's up for grabs, and I wouldn't even do it this now, but earlier in the season, I mean, you could have got Grayson Allen from him from me.
Ugh, no.
But that's what I'm saying. You're not getting Bradley Beal. You're not getting any All-Star level talent for Clay because he's not an All-Star. So why would you?
And we
DeMar DeRozan is still All-Star level talent.
I mean, it would probably be more than just Clay for DeRozan. Shit, you could trade Clay and Dre for DeRozan at this. Like the way I felt at the beginning of the season, I felt like they just weren't doing nothing. Now Clay has changed my mind. You feel me? I don't feel as negatively towards Clay. Not that Clay's playing that much greater, but at the same time, he's shown spurts. He's actually helped them out when Steph wasn't even coming with it this season. So, Clay, he's getting a pass from me these days. And also, Clay is not costing the team. It's one thing for him to have bad games or have like these points where he's going through whatever mental ups and downs that's causing him to not play so well. But with Dre, what he does affects literally everybody. And that's what my issue is with him. He's costing everybody involved. And that's not cool. Like, and my whole thing is forget how I feel. How do you feel? Like, you're the one that's playing. You really don't care that you're a detriment to the team more than you're an asset? Or do you look at it like you are an asset to the team because of the physicality you bring and the toughness you bring? Because that's not going to win the game.
Do you think he really can't control his emotions, or he just don't care?
I think it's a combination of both. I think he doesn't care enough to try to control his emotions.
Do you think maybe they should just run it through all we should get rid of Draymond and really focus on Kaminga now?
Yeah, definitely. But I already feel like that's kind of where they've been trending. Well, I don't want to say definitely because Dre is still asset to the team. Don't get me wrong. It's just when he is being detrimental, all of that stuff that he has done no longer factors in and no longer looks as good because it's like it ain't good enough to give us a good game. It ain't good enough to play some great defense and then turn around and get us bounced out in the first round, or we don't even make it to the playoffs because you can't hold your composure. Everything that you did throughout the season is all for nothing at this point.
Wait. So you wanted them to get rid of Kaminga early in the season?
No, Kaminga could have stayed too. Like I
Okay.
had I didn't even get through my list of all of the people that I felt
Yeah.
like could have stayed. Like even Looney could have stayed. Like Kaminga could have stayed, Looney could have stayed, Peyton could have stayed, um Jackson could have stayed, Pajinski in my mind should have stayed, but Dre and Clay, they were both on the chopping block for me. Chris Paul, he was on the chopping block for me. Uh,
Wiggins.
Wig, Wiggs was on the block for me as well. So that's what I meant. I meant like the core and the starters and stuff like that. A lot of them, I was like, okay, y'all can go. But the young boys, I'm cool with the youngins. I am. I'm cool with the youngins because we're seeing what they can do. Like Golden's, their bench isn't horrible. Like you feel me?
Do you like
They come
Moody?
in. Moody's solid actually. When he gets PT, Moody's solid.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. My issue was with the veterans. It wasn't even the young guys. It was more so the vets. But Looney, Looney does what he's supposed to do.
Can we keep talking about problems? Because I want to talk about this. Everybody right now is just on the Celtics' ass, talking about they suck, they're no good.
The
There's
Celtics.
Yeah. Because I mean, they got blown out. They had that comeback loss. They lost it.
Look how many
Oh
teams they've blown out. What do you mean? They've
no,
blown out teams. Every team gets blown out at some point. That's asinine. What do you mean? The Celtics. So let me get this right. People are calling the Celtics trash after they have the best record in the league. They've been blowing out teams this season, and they pretty much been running through the league. But now they trash because what? It's at the end of the season. They're already a shoe in for their position. They're resting. I mean, they're still playing, but I'm saying mentally they're probably resting so that they can get prepared for the playoffs. And now they trash.
well, that's what I found so, like I said, so ridiculous about everybody talking about this. So they're 57 and 16. They're 8 and 2 in their last 10, and they've lost 2 in a row. So that means they won 8 in a row before that, at least. I don't know what they won before that because I don't remember. But they're 8 and 2 in their last 2, but they lost 2 in a row, and now people are talking shit about them. There's only what 9 games left in the season. I just don't see it like I see it as the position set. They've already, and they're letting their foot off the gas for the next couple weeks to ease into the playoffs. That's what it's looking like to me.
Bro, they could lose literally every game for the rest of the season, and they're still gonna run through whatever teams. They're still going to the Eastern Conference
They're
Finals.
still the number 1 seed in the East if they lose every game from here on out.
So what are we talking about?
And only Denver, Minnesota, and OKC has a chance to have a better record than them.
Denver, you said who? Denver, Minnesota, and OKC.
And OKC, it's a combination. So the number's 3. So if the Celtics and the any one of those teams get a combined wins for the Celtics, losses for those teams, 3. So if you combined 3 wins for the Celtics, 0, losses from them, Celtics are shared number 1 spot. If you combined, 1 win from the Celtics and 2 losses from them, combine the number 1 spot. So, yeah, they're a shoe in. Do you think here's what I want to know too, because I was thinking about this. Because me personally, I would do this. Larry Bird once said this. He said, I'm paid for 48 minutes of basketball, not 36, not whatever. So me, even if I had the best record, I would still
Mhm.
be playing my guys. I don't know if I would be playing them. I don't know if they're averaging 36 minutes. I'd probably take them down to maybe 32 or something like that. But I'm still going to play them the same rotation. I still want our offensive hum. I still want our defensive hum. I still want our rotations, Chris. I just want all that. I just want our rotation. We're still going to try to win games because we're out there to win games. I would still do it even if we locked it up because even if we got injured, and normally injuries are on freak plays, and I get that if you're out there more, you have more of a chance of getting injured. But we've seen dudes like Gordon Hayward in that one in the opening game in the first couple minutes break his leg. So if you're only going to play him the first quarter and sit him, well, they can get injured in the first quarter. And normally it's when people aren't going hard is when they get hurt, when they're not putting in maximum effort. So we would still try to win because I just think, and if we ended up getting hurt and we end up missing it, if I was running a franchise, I would just say, hey, that's where it's going to lie because if we get hurt playing the right way, then I don't see the problem in it. But we're building a culture where we go through the 82 game season. That's what it is. That's what you get paid for. We go through the 16, the 4 round playoffs. If you're injured, obviously we're not going to play. Maybe if you're a little banged up, we might sit you or whatever. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be taking these games off. I'd want to keep my focus tight. What would you do?
What would I do as a player, or what would I do as a coach?
Coach and management. We'll go with that. Coach. Well, I
Coach
mean,
and
the coach is
management.
going to. Well, I'll put it this way: if the president says I want you to sit these players, I don't think the coach can go against it.
Right.
If the owner, if
So
he says I want you to play him or whatever, I'm saying as management coach, whatever. Yeah, I'm saying if the choice was up to you, what would you do?
okay. So as part of because my choice would be different depending on whether I'm a player or I'm part of the management. As
Give
part
me
of the
both.
management,
Give me both.
okay. As part of a player, the heart that I have, we just grinding. I'm about
Mm-hmm.
to be out there in a wheelchair if I have to. I'm gonna be on crutches. Like that's how I feel about basketball. So it wouldn't matter. I go back to the mentality of being a little kid where we're playing all day long. It is what it is. Especially if
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get to play, which is what I love to do. And you're gonna pay me for that, and you're gonna give me this crazy, ridiculous contract too. And then there's a possibility I might make it to the finals and add accolades and stuff to my name, or even if I don't, you feel me? I'm still doing something that I love. So for me as a player, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play to the max. It is what it is. For as long as I'm breathing, as long as I'm standing, walking, and I can do it, I will. As a management, coming from that aspect where you have to protect your players, you have to protect your investments, and then also take into consideration what they're saying. I don't know. I might do load management at some point in time. The reason I say that is because you got players like LeBron. LeBron gets all of this praise and everything for his longevity and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that. But you'll see LeBron will appear to be taking steps back. He will appear to be slacking off a little bit, and people will question it. Is this because he
Hmm.
doesn't have heart, or what's going on with him? But then I actually heard his side of it, and the way he's looking at it is more difficult to just go hard all the time. That's way too much wear and tear. If I just went hard all the time, I wouldn't have made it this many years in the league. You feel me? Just like you have to sit players, sometimes they have to rest their body too. They can't just go full max potential. This is what the players are saying. They can't just go full max potential every minute of the game because it's going to be overexertion. And then that's also how you get injured. And I think they're looking at it like more players get injured that way than not. Even if the science suggests something differently from what they're seeing and what they're feeling is more so
I want to ask you this though: don't we see Giannis go full max potential every possession he plays?
Giannis is young though. How old is Giannis? Because you
He'll be
got some
30 this
players
year.
who hit 30 this year. I mean,
30 in December. 30 in December.
that's still fairly young. I mean, on the NBA, or as an NBA player, it's not as young, especially when he went to the league. Or what, like, how old was Giannis?
19, 18, 18.
Yeah, 19. He was
Well,
young.
he turned 19 2 months into the season.
So he went to the league young. He's still fairly young, but the league has aged him a little bit. But a player like Giannis, they still have some years in a tank where they can give it the max. You feel me? Giannis, he probably got like another like 5, 6 years playing his max right now. Where you got a player like LeBron, where we're just waiting on LeBron to announce his retirement at this point. So it's like it wouldn't make sense for a player like him. He's got all the accolades and stuff like that. All he's trying to do is get to the finals or get to the postseason and be in the best, not even necessarily the best position as far as ranking goes, because he's already shown what he can do once he gets there. So LeBron and players like him, they're at the point where it's just like, let me just get there and I'm gonna show you what to do. So with them, they may not need to go 100% all the time. It might be better for them to rest their bodies. And if I'm coaching a player like that, yeah, I'll probably listen to him and give him some time to rest his body because he knows it better than we do.
Well, that's what always kills me is when people go, because like I want to bring up like how you said we seen what LeBron did, has done in the playoffs. LeBron, when they try to discredit his bubble championship, like, oh, that Mickey Mouse bubble. I don't think it is a Mickey Mouse bubble championship. I think it's a legit championship. Everybody played, everybody competed. I know there wasn't no fans, but I think it was more legitimate for him because he won titles outside of the bubble as well. So he didn't need the bubble to win a title. We've seen he could win a title. Now, some players that were in the bubble, like TJ Warren averaging 28 in the bubble and has never averaged 28 since or before, well then yeah, so that's a fluke. Donovan Mitchell shooting good in the playoffs. Hasn't done it since or before. So yeah, that was a fluke. So that's why I don't like the bubble thing with that. I've always wanted to say that, bring that up, but yeah, we've seen what LeBron can do, but we haven't seen LeBron do it at this age anymore. And I
Mhm.
think LeBron is no longer able to be the best player on a title team.
But does he need to be? You feel me? Because and I hate to keep going to the Warriors, but let's go there. Like, was Steph the number one or the number two on that team? You feel me? Was KD number one or number two? And the reason I'm bringing it up is because like sometimes it don't matter if you're the best on a title team. Your contribution to that team is what matters most. We can't say, I mean, because I look at Anthony Davis like he is the best player on the Lakers right now. Okay. But with that, that's not to say LeBron is not going to carry them. That's not to say LeBron wouldn't have a better series than him, or LeBron wouldn't have more of an impact and on clutch moments or more important moments. So
But that
yeah,
is what I'm trying. That is what I'm trying to say. I don't think in the finals, if LeBron is your best player now, I don't think you'll win the finals.
LeBron is your best player. Will they win a final?
I just don't
Deep
think you'll win a finals anymore.
does okay. Let me ask you this: does the team around him factor into you at all?
I'll put it this way: if it was some crazy team, like if he started getting a bunch of players that were really good but a little bit worse than him, then yeah. So maybe if he did something like he was, I'm trying to think of some of the players that I could think of.
'Cause
Maybe
I'm
if he
thinking
got
like,
like, okay, let's just put it this way. Let's say he got like Donovan Mitchell and Trey Young and Pascal Siakam and Sabonis and just like just a whole bunch of team all star. Then yeah,
Westbrook.
probably could. No, Westbrook and
Okay,
him don't mix. We already saw that. Well, if Westbrook's willing to come off the bench, play 18 minutes, and just do whatever, then maybe. But I'm just saying, if he gets a bunch of players like that, if he had like a 99 2000 Trailblazers deep roster, something like that, then yeah. I could see him being the best player on the team, like where Pippen was the best player on that team, but he's only averaging like 12 a game and assuming that role. Yeah, I could see something like that. But part of the deal is, and we've seen this wherever we go. LeBron has to score 25 a night. LeBron likes that 20-year streak of scoring 25 a night. And to be honest with you, when people say stat padding and stat chasing and all that, I don't, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't knock him for it in that regard because, yo, man, that is cool to say you scored 25 and you're still winning games. You're still making the playoffs. Um, you've won a title with that team. So, I mean, I don't really knock it and all that. But yeah, but LeBron, if he was around that team, yeah, he's going to want to score 25 while everybody else takes a way back seat. So, yeah, if he got a bunch of B plus, A minus, I'd say LeBron right now is an A minus player. So if you got a bunch of B plus B players and all that, yeah, maybe you could win a title then. But I'm just talking about in the normal constraint where you got one dude being the main scorer, a second scorer, third, like normal construction of a team. No, I don't. I don't think you can have LeBron as your best player and win a title anymore.
Hmm, okay, I can see that. I mean, I can see why you said it at least. So
No,
that's
but
fair.
hey, and actually that wanted me to ask you something. So I want to start doing this on
Mhm.
Fridays. Like I said, we got 9 games left or whatever. I want to start asking you about the playoffs. There's 11 teams that are still viable. And I think the 10 are pretty much set in the East. The 11th and 10th are up for grabs in the West. And I want to ask you, we're just going to do predictions every week. And then we're going to see where the predictions end up landing. Maybe they're good, maybe they're bad, maybe they're whatever. But
Mm,
let's kind of so Boston's got the number one seed wrapped up. Do you think they will get the number one record overall in the NBA?
I mean, so long as they at least keep playing somewhat decent ball, like you don't have to, for instance, you don't have to play Brown and Tatum and Porzingis. You can sit one as long as like they're still out there putting up some effort. Yeah, I think Boston might hold on to that. They've already ran through teams. I think a lot of teams at this point might have somewhat of a healthy fear going up
Hmm.
against Boston. I think mentally that can do something to them, or it can turn them on. Like, you feel me? There's that flip side. You might show up a little harder because it's Boston, or it might be, well, we're not going to win this game anyway. So I guess it really depends on how hungry the teams are that they're going up against as well.
That's
But
where our predictions come in. Do you think they're going to lock up that number one seed?
I personally, yeah, I think that
I
they're
agree with
still
you.
gonna. I think they're chasing it. You feel me? So I do think so. And when I was saying somebody could sit, I feel like even if one of them sits, I feel like the rest of the unit wants to win so bad right now. They've been winning all season, so I feel as though they want to finish the season as winners as well. So yeah, I do see them. My prediction is yes, they're going to lock up that number one.
Okay, so number one overall record. Okay, then next in the East, we have Milwaukee at second, New York at third, Cleveland at fourth. They're all within a game and a half of each other. Then there's a little dip, 2.5 games to the fifth seed Orlando. Game behind them is Indiana. Then we have Miami, Philly, and Philly been dropping obviously since Joel Embiid. Then we have Chicago,
Mhm.
Atlanta. Do you think you're going to see any shakeup in that? Do you think Milwaukee's the second seed? Do you think New York, Cleveland,
I think most of them. I think it stays the same for the most part. At least the top three. I feel as though
Boston,
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, New York?
I feel like those three stay where they are.
Okay. Do you see
I mean,
Orlando jumping Cleveland, Indiana jumping Cleveland, or you like Cleveland at the four slot?
I could see Cleveland stand at the four, but I could also see either one of the Florida teams jumping them. My prediction right now is that the top three in the East remain the top three. Why
I
the
don't know if you're
disrespect?
respect on Giannis. He's having an interview, but still disrespected. I don't know. I don't know if you're talking about us. Giannis is probably my favorite player in the league, so I don't disrespect Giannis. I don't know if you were talking about us, but if you're talking about in general, the problem is when they got the trade for Dame, they were already a team. They had been winning a lot. They'd also won around, for the last couple of years, been winning around about an average about 50 games a year, somewhere in that range. And they're on pace to do the same thing this year. So I think that's kind of the disrespect. You got a top 75 player in Dame, and you guys are putting up, pretty much the same record, same
But
number.
but it's not like they didn't get rid of anybody for Dame. They got rid of one of their go-tos for Dame. You feel me? So it was like they
Who's better?
exchanged.
No, no, I understand that, but it's supposed to be Drew was here and Dame was
But
here.
but here's the thing though. Dame is a better player. Yes, this is true. But is Dame a better contributor? than what Drew was.
No, I think Drew is much better for that team. I think it's a gaping hole in perimeter defense now without him, and it seems like it's just better with Drew Holiday in
See?
there as well.
So
But we
so
don't know
that's
till the
for me.
playoffs.
Right. But for me, that's why I feel like it was kind of a fair exchange, a fair trade. So even though you're getting more points from a Dame, you're getting more of the other necessary pieces that you need from Drew. So in my mind, I don't know why anybody will want to disrespect Giannis based on his success with Dame there, because also Giannis is Giannis. Giannis is gonna be successful no matter who is there. You feel me? I don't care who Giannis is playing with at this point in his career.
Mhm.
Giannis is always going to be a contender. He's that dominant of a player at this point. We're seeing Giannis run through teams by himself. You feel me? And no one can win a team on their own. I mean, win a championship on their own. I get that. But at the same time, when you have somebody of his size and his skill set and his mentality, the recipe for disaster is crazy because you can't stop him. Giannis can score at will. All he needs to do is have other people with him that want to attack, other people with him that are dropping their shots, other people with him that are getting a rebound in case he missed. So basically, all Giannis needs is role players. Giannis is so dope that you can put him on a team with role players, and even if he don't win a championship, it's still going to lead to him making it to the playoffs. It's still going to be a successful season. So I don't know why anybody could disrespect Giannis with how great of a talent that is just based on something that he has nothing to do with. Giannis can't control who's on and off the team. He
No,
can
no, no.
just show up and show out, and that's what he's doing. It don't matter who he suits up with. We're seeing Giannis do the same thing. We've been seeing Giannis as a premier player for how long now? So I don't get why disrespect him now. He's already proven what he can do. He's already proven what he is. There's no reason to disrespect him.
I think Grayson Allen was a solid role player for him because says Grayson Allen was also a big loss for the Buck, but I don't think he was obviously not as big a loss as Drew. I don't think he was as big of a loss. He was just a plug-in, like he was a role player, like an eighth man. He wasn't playing like he was playing for the Suns this year. Like the Suns would have a huge loss. You know what I mean? So here's another question: what defines success for the Bucks this year? Finals or winning the championship? It's winning the championship.
For the Bucks, yeah, for the Bucks, it'll be winning a championship.
You
We
traded
expect
for
them.
you traded for Dame to win a title. You didn't trade to make the
Yeah,
finals because you've already won a title without Dame. So it's finals. It's championship or bust.
the Bucks, and also to touch on that, once you get a taste of a victory, once you get a taste of a championship, that's what you're
Paul
going
Pierce
for
don't want
every
a
year.
taste. He wants the whole load.
Flagrant. But
Yeah.
once you make it there, that's what you're shooting for every year. You feel me? Every player says that when they go to the league, that's what they want eventually to be a champion. But not every player plays like that's truly how they feel. A lot of it is like, I've reached my plateau. I made it to the NBA. That's really going to be the highlight of my life. And there's nothing wrong with that. For a lot of people, though, that's okay. They're okay with that. Once you've experienced winning a championship, that goes out the window. Now, this is what you want all the time. Yeah, you argue when you lose. Well, I got a ring. I got a ring. But deep inside, you're mad. After you win, you want to win every time after that until you're done, until you're retired. They can lie all they want to and say that's not how they feel. Internally, that's what's going on. So
You
with
play
that,
to win the game.
so with that, every season from now on with Milwaukee, so long as we got a healthy Giannis, a healthy group, so long as they're still playing at an elite level, they're trying to win. They're going to be rivals with Boston in the East until that team starts falling apart. And that's a very young team. So they have a lot that they got to prove. Who's the better team in the East, Boston or Milwaukee?
Well,
I'm
they've
sure
had
Milwaukee still
over the last 5 years, they've had this weird three-way rivalry where it's Heat,
in Philly.
Miami. It's Heat, Boston, Bucks. It's one of those three teams just every year. Let's get into the
You don't
play-in.
include Philly in that?
Huh?
You don't include Philly in that?
No, Philly ain't made no finals.
Oh, finals. My bad. I thought you
I'm
were
talking
talking
about
about
for so no, I'm talking about for supremacy of the East. It's
yeah,
been
yeah,
Boston, Bucks, and the Heat, and
yeah,
they're always playing each other, and they're going back and forth in series wins. It's not like a dominating. So yeah, to me, that those three teams have
yeah.
been really cool in the East. Speaking of Miami, though, I want to get that in. They're in the play-in right now. Philly is in eighth, Chicago's in ninth, Atlanta's in 10th. Which two teams do you like to make the playoffs?
which two
Yeah,
between Chicago
Miami,
and
Miami, Philly, Chicago, Atlanta.
I mean, of course, Chicago. Um, Now I'm torn between Miami and Atlanta.
If Miami's in a playoff play-in game, they're winning against those three teams.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What I was gonna say though is I kind of want to see what Trey and DeJounte can do together in the playoffs. We've already seen Trey show all kinds of signs of explosiveness. We seen Trey do something that we didn't even expect of him in a not championship in the playoffs. So I'm curious to see what he can do with DeJounte, but at the same time, like you were just saying, once Miami, the way that they are, the pedigree, the caliber of a team that is, Miami is kind of like what I was saying when I was describing LeBron. They're the team that knows what they can do once they get there. You know, their position don't really matter because they put fear in Eastern teams. So Miami gets in a play-in, yeah, it's up. It's probably a bad matchup for anybody that's going against them. I see Miami winning. I see Miami making it into the playoffs. I want the Bulls because, that's my favorite team, of all time, just Chicago being from there. I'm always rooting for them is what I'm saying. It don't matter how bad or how good they're doing. I'm always rooting for Chicago. Um, Bias aside, I'm curious to see what Atlanta can do. So
I like Atlanta in a one game series with Murray and if Trey Young's back. I do like that. If not, I'll put it this way. I like as of right now, I like all three of them over Philly. I expected
yeah,
Tyrese Maxey to take another step up, and he's regressed. I
it's
thought he was going
crazy
to get.
because
What's up?
he started off playing like he was gonna take a step up. He was looking good, but
No, I think it's the Embiid factor. He needs Embiid on the floor. I don't think he's ready, and he may not ever be ready. This may be who he is, but he's not ready to be the focal points of the defense trying to stop him and all that. Let's play
that's
a
a lot
game.
of pressure.
I know
All right.
we're gonna play a game. We're gonna call it ceiling and floor. I'm gonna name the
Okay.
team. You're gonna tell me what their ceiling is. Can they win a title? And then what their floor is. The lowest you see them. Maybe they get, and we'll see how many teams we got that could win a title and get bounced in the first round. But we're just gonna
Mm.
go through it as it's set up. Boston. What's their ceiling? What's their floor?
Title was their ceiling. Their floor is semifinals.
So conference finals,
Yeah.
or are we talking
Oh,
second round?
conference. Yeah, conference.
So they are anywhere in the range of between the best team and the fourth best team.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's fine. Cool.
Although I don't even think it's possible they're the fourth, but yeah.
Yeah, I got you. All right, Milwaukee.
Same. Um, I see the same for them. Milwaukee is their ceiling is a championship. Their floor is conference finals.
So you think it's going to be
No,
Boston, Milwaukee locked in the conference finals?
I have to change that. I don't see
Peterman
them getting
thinks the
bounced.
Bucks should
I
trade
don't. I,
for Klay Thompson next
huh?
season.
The Bucks.
Peterman thinks they should trade for Klay Thompson next season.
That would be a good look for the Bucks. I don't know what Golden State would get out of that. I don't know who the Bucks will be able to give up to Golden State. They probably have to get rid of who? What's my man's name?
Chris Middleton,
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. They probably have to get rid of him.
but he's no longer
Yep.
himself either after the injury.
I was gonna say that's why that will be a greater look for Milwaukee because them getting a Clay with a chip on his shoulder. We've already seen that'd be like game 5 Clay all over it. Or game 6. Anyway, you put Clay up in there with a chip on his
Mhm.
shoulder, it's over. Um,
So you got Milwaukee's
that,
ceilings championship. What's their floor?
they're still in the championship. I don't see them getting bounced in the first round though.
They've been
So
bounced before in
therefore,
the first. Here, I'll put it this way: they're the
no, no,
second
no, no.
seed,
I'm
right?
not saying no, 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 no. I'm saying this season. This season, I don't see them getting
So that's what I'm
bounced in
about
the
to tell
first
you. So,
round this
so that's what
season.
I'm about to tell you. As of right now, their first round matchup is Miami, who bounced them last year.
Okay. And
We're
that's going
talking.
to be a tough matchup for them. Possibly, maybe not. It depends. You feel me? They may have
But that's what
learned.
I'm saying. Could you see them losing to Miami?
Yeah, I could see them losing to Miami.
So there we go. We got a
Uh,
floor of the first round.
I could see it, but I'm not predicting that. No. My
Okay.
prediction is their floor is the conference finals. So if their matchup is more than likely going to be Miami, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to count Miami out of this one.
Okay.
Uh,
New York.
New York, I think their floor and their ceiling are almost the same. I think New York makes it out the first round. I don't think they make it out the second.
Yeah, I was going to say, to me, New York is a first round team at the lowest, a second round team at the highest. How do you feel about Cleveland? Ceiling and floor for them.
I don't see Cleveland making it out the. I'll put it this way. I'm gonna be shocked if Cleveland makes it out the first round this season.
Yeah, I could see possibly a second round, but yeah, I don't see him really getting out of the first round. I don't like Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs. I've been on this for years. The dude shoots awful in the playoffs. Every year he shoots awful. He's 6'1" and a two guard, and that just doesn't really translate well. Um,
Are you are you sure you don't just have arachnophobia? You sure that's not the issue?
no,
You
no,
just
no,
don't
no,
have
no,
spider?
no, 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 because like I'm cool with the homie Spider down the street, so we're good.
For sure. But
But okay,
nah,
so Orlando.
Orlando. Ooh, now Orlando's good. Orlando's one of those teams that can surprise you. Orlando's one of those teams where I could
You know what?
see them. I
To
could see
me,
them making it to the second. Huh?
Orlando's ceiling is a 7 game first round loss, and their floor is a sweep.
Dang. So they're not making it out the first.
But
I think
but but it's their first time in the playoffs. If I'm management, I just want to see. I'll put it this way: I'm happy if I see a competitive series. You know what I mean? I'm all about progression. It's our first
so.
time in the playoffs. So I am all about progression.
You kind of feel the same way about them, like kind of what I felt about Cleveland, where it's just like, you making it here is good enough at this point in my eyes.
So okay, so you think Orlando can get to the second round? That's your ceiling for them.
That's my ceiling for them. The floor is they get bounced in the first round.
Okay,
Oh,
Indiana.
Steph Curry. Hold up. What's this question? It's time for the Hawks to move on from Trey Young,
No,
possibly.
this
Uh,
watching from
Steph
Jerusalem,
Curry.
Israel. We all know the Warriors dynasty era. What will be the best landing spot for Steph Curry? The best landing spot for Steph Curry is the Warriors.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
There's no,
I
he's
feel
not going anywhere.
if Steph was to go anywhere, to be honest, I think it'll mess up his legacy. Even if he went somewhere and he obtained success all over again, he's towards the end of his career also. So it'll be like, you just turned your back on your fans that have been rocking with you. So he needs to stay there.
What would be a better fit, Knicks or Orlando?
Ooh, for Steph, ooh, New York. Well,
I like I,
better
I like
fit.
I like New
Orlando.
York. Well, I was going to say
Uh,
I love the Brunson Curry backcourt with the Julius Randle, and I love how Steph would have MSG rocking. That has
See, that's
nothing to
the
do with what's best, but I'm just saying
right.
that's what I would like to
See,
see.
and it's funny because you literally just said what I was thinking because the question was the best fit. The best fit is probably Orlando. But what would I prefer to see? Who wouldn't want to see Steph at the Garden? Who wouldn't want to see that?
I think a better fit though is no. I really think a better fit is the Knicks because right now, out of everybody on the Knicks and the Magic, Brunson is the best player. So
Brunson is,
parents, yeah. So parents Steph with the best player would be where
but
it's at.
Pablo, but what's his name?
Paolo's coming.
Pablo.
Paolo's yeah, he's
Yeah,
coming.
he's good.
But he ain't there. He ain't Brunson. Let's go with Indiana. Ceiling floor.
Indiana, their floor is they get bounced in the first round. Their ceiling is second round.
High second round, like competitive second round, or they're getting like just
I
waxed in the
think
second round.
I think in the second round, I think they don't. I think they go 5 games in the second round
Miami.
and lose. Miami. Now the crazy thing about Miami is because of who they are, their floor is going to the title as well. I mean, floor. Their ceiling is going to the title as well.
I agree.
Their floor. I mean, it's pretty much the same as Milwaukee for me. Their floor is, and I want to pick Milwaukee over. No, don't get me wrong, but I feel as though their floor will be to lose in the first round.
Hmm. No, I'm
Yeah,
with you on that.
but I could see them. You feel me? I can definitely see them making it out of the East. Definitely.
Okay, what about Philly?
Philly, their ceiling is going to be probably 6 games in the probably 6 games in the second round.
You
Their
think you see that
floor
as the ceiling?
for Philly
Yeah,
right now, yeah.
yeah. Oh, right now I can't see that at all. Let's see. I see. Oh, Shit, what do I see for Philly? Well, they got no Embiid, right? And they just ain't been the same without him. So right now, I see Philly ceiling as they win their first they win a playoff, they win a play-in game, and they make it to the finals. I can see them winning one game and just get waxed, just swept. And then their ceiling
They're
is,
gonna get swept in the playoffs.
I mean,
Yeah,
if they get in, they're getting in as the A seed, and that means it's them against the Celtics.
that's fair. Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
not
and I mean,
making it past
I
the
could see them
Celtics.
losing. I could see them losing by like an average of 30 in that series.
Yeah, they're not getting past the Celtics.
Right.
They might get swept. They might get a game out of the Celtics, but that's
Here, I'm
really
gonna put
about
it this
it.
way. I'll predict it. I'll make this prediction right here, and I'll put money on it. Okay. This is how much confidence I have the Celtics in beating Philly. I think the Celtics will sweep Philly in 3. That is what I think.
They just not gonna show up for game 4.
Nah, then what's the point? And then Philly's floor is missing the playoffs. They don't do anything. Here, we'll do this before we get into the last 2 teams of the East, and we'll on. Who's your dark horse of the East playoffs? So I don't know if you consider Miami, because Miami's currently the 7th seed, but based on their record, they would be the dark horse. If you want to go with a team that nobody considers, since we've seen Indiana play well when pressure was on the line this year, and they did make it to the finals of the in-season tournament, maybe the Pacers would be the next best guess. If you're looking for somebody other than that, if you don't want to consider the Heat.
Yeah, I could agree with the Pacers. That would be a nice little slippery team to get in there and surprise you. Let me think. Is there another one? Let's see. Is it Atlanta, Chicago?
I mean, here,
Maybe
as I'm looking,
Atlanta?
hell no, hell no, hell no. They're in the 10th seed. They can't play no defense. Like you said, Murray scored. Hey, I'll tell you what's crazy. 44 points on 44 shots is the lowest total point score since Kobe Bryant in 2002. They were like, Kobe, be proud of me. Shooting
Hey,
inefficiently, but still winning.
hey, you know what's funny about that though?
Uh,
I'm not trying to knock, him for what he scored because good job for him. But it's funny when you mention the shot attempts though. It's funny because he was so proud of himself after that game. Like I was looking at the highlights, I was looking at how he's patting himself. Even the game winner looked awkward to me. Like it didn't he shot it with confidence, but at the same time, I was shocked that it went in. That was the crazy thing about it. But yeah, he was definitely feeling himself after that. He didn't care how many shots he put up. That's funny though.
yeah,
I'm
I mean,
proud
like,
you
I mean,
scored
I'll put it
40
this way.
on
I'll put it this way.
40 shots.
After that game, you know what I mean? He didn't even care about his next deal, and he was feeling himself so much he ain't even need an X pill.
Yeah, that's real
So,
talk. So
so
Chicago's another one for me because of DeRozan. I don't feel like
well,
you can
hold on,
really
hold on.
count.
Well, so there we go, dark horse, and that's what we're on right now. Chicago, ceiling floor.
Um all right, so Chicago's ceiling for me would be second round, probably game 6 in the second round. Their floor would probably be losing a 7-game series first round.
Yeah, so yeah, Chicago to me is just don't make the
Well,
playoffs.
Chicago, if they first round, they will be up against who? Boston.
Yep.
They more than likely be up against Boston. See the
Sweep in
problem with
3.
Boston, I don't know about that. DeRozan got too much heart for that. I don't
He
know. I don't
he
know if
he.
he's going
I
like
watched
that.
I watched LeBron break him.
That was younger DeRozan. He different now. he different now. We talking big. We talking big Demar these days.
Hey, we gotta
He's in
do
the
that
next
one
city.
time. Hey, we gotta do that best a list of the best players that got broke in the playoffs when they just got their soul snatched. We're gonna have to do a list of that one day.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so where do you got Atlanta? What's their ceiling? What's their floor?
Atlanta's floor is getting swept. Their ceiling is going to be getting swept in the second round.
Atlanta's floor is missing the playoffs, and then their ceiling
Yeah,
is getting
yeah, that's
swept in the
true.
first
That's
round.
true.
Yeah,
That's true. Because they're still trying to get in. That's true.
right. What about the Thunder? What's their ceiling? What's their floor?
Okay. The Thunder. The Thunder's ceiling is 7 games in the second round.
I'd go with that too.
Their floor is, I'd say, 5 games in the first round.
Well, right now, the way it's matching up, and they just beat the shit out of them, and they've been beating the shit out of them all years. Right now, it's a Thunder Suns 1-8 matchup in the first round. If everything stayed the same,
See, here's the thing. I edged the Suns in that. I edged the Suns because of for one, their leadership. I edged the Suns because of
you know
the resume.
the Thunder beat them by 25 points tonight, right?
I don't care.
Cool.
We're talking about the playoffs.
Yeah,
What you're
no,
talking
I agree
about
with
right
you.
now, you feel me?
Right.
I don't care about that. You feel me? I feel as though when the playoffs come, we're gonna see a different Booker. We're gonna see a different KD. We're gonna see a different Bill. We're gonna see the same Allen. But you feel me? We're gonna see players adapt and adjust a little bit. They're gonna tweak their game a little bit. And they have the veteran players on the Suns, unlike OKC. You feel me? The Suns core are vets. OKC core is some pretty young guys. So I edged the Suns against OKC, honestly. So that's why I see. I take that back. I could see them going 6. I could see them going 6 with the Suns.
Hey, the
Suns
Suns
may
right now
not.
are hey, the Suns right now are Denver's kryptonite.
Yeah. See, it be like that. It's crazy. So
Mm.
back to
Although we're gonna
OKC.
get that. Hey, so you got them second round, first round because we're running out of time. We got to run through this, but just to keep that, let's
The
just
Suns
skip to the
make a deep run. They can.
So hold on, let's just do that. We're just gonna skip to him. That's the A seed, and then we'll go through the rest real quick because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Suns
All right.
ceiling floor
Their ceiling, they can make it to the finals.
can't
Their
win,
floor, huh?
can't win.
They can win too. They can.
So their
The
ceiling
Suns.
is a championship.
Oh, no, 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 no. Well, yeah, yes, yes. The Suns ceiling is a championship. Yes. The Suns floor, losing in the second round, maybe losing like a game 7 in the second round.
So you think the Suns, no matter what, through their ups and downs this season, they've been really inconsistent. And like I said, they've just been killing Denver the last 2 games that they played them, but then they're losing to the Spurs without Wimbiana.
That's a reach.
That's a reach. That's a reach. Far reaching. Um, Here, I'll put it this way: as far as the far reaching, I'll put it this way: can you see a scenario where Durant, Booker, and Beal can't put together a really good 20-25 game run? If you could see that those three can put together a really good scoring run of 20-25 games, where 2 to 3 of them are on more often than not, then you could see the run. You know what I
I
mean?
could see that. I do see
I
that.
personally right now is the most. I mean, I don't even like the Suns in the first round right now, unless it's Denver. If they can match up against, if they get Denver in the first round, I like the Suns in the first round against Denver right now. I think maybe they're hungry from last year, and they were injured last year in the playoffs. So, all right, what about Denver ceiling floor?
Ceiling is obviously a championship for them. The floor for them is losing in a conference finals.
Okay, Minnesota.
I don't see Minnesota winning the championship. I think their ceiling is making it to the conference finals, period. I don't see them winning the conference finals. Their floor to me this season is possibly losing in the second round. I see them going, if they lose second round, probably going like 5, 6 games.
Yeah, I think right now, I think their floor is a first round loss because of the Carl Anthony Towns injury.
That's
So,
fair.
no, Clippers,
They can score 80 combined 15
the
games.
Suns.
Lose
They can score 80 combined
you
for
know,
10 games straight. Listen,
you gotta put some more respect on KD, man. Look, man, when it comes to the playoffs, he's one of those players you can't really count him out. Like if he cuts it on, ain't no telling because how far fetched is it? We're saying them getting 25. How far fetched is it that KD drops 40 something a few times in a playoffs this season? How far fetched is it that KD has a historic 50 game, a 50-point game in the playoffs? I wouldn't put that past KD.
what? Okay, let's go Clippers though.
Clippers. Their Clippers is another one. They're ceiling because of that unit, how tight and how deep they are. The Clippers could potentially they might even potentially could win a championship. Well, not win a championship. I don't think they're gonna win it.
To be honest with you, for what we saw from them from like December to February, I don't see how you couldn't say they can't win a title. But what we've seen from since the All Star break, that's a first round team. So I think literally they're a first round team is their low, and I think they can win a title too if they get playing well. They're getting playing how they were
Yeah,
before the All Star game.
I could see them losing first round, but I could also see them making it to the conference finals. I don't see them winning the title this year though.
Cool. New Orleans.
New Orleans, I see possibly losing in the first round as their floor. Their
Hmm.
ceiling would be losing in the second round,
Okay, so
maybe
hold on.
game five.
So I just want to let you know something. They'll need defensive rebounds in the playoffs. Who will give that for the Suns? Beal, Booker, KD. Think about it. Well, first off, KD can't get you
KD,
10 boards, and hold
I'm
on.
about
And
to say,
Nurkic and Nurkic is one of
Nurkic,
the best
yeah,
rebounders in the league. He's had a 30 rebound game this year. There was one game with, and I forgot what he ended up with, but through 3 quarters he had 18 rebounds in 22 minutes. So as far as rebounding goes, they can
it's
get
great.
boards. Right, they can get boards. Eubanks is a decent rebounder off the bench. Bol Bol's been playing better lately. Bol Bol can get some rebounds. So they can't get rebounds. Like I said, is there? I'll
And
put it this way.
depending on,
Oh,
dep-
I want to say this. Hold on, just to Sneed Mobile. Check this out. When they do simulations of a season, they simulate it 10,000 times to get the best possible reactions. Do you think if they simulated, if we could somehow in real life simulate this season 10,000 times, there's no area where the Suns ever win? Think about it like that. Might be a 1% chance, might be a 2%, might be a 10. But I mean, I ultimately think, I mean, with the matchup where they're at now with OKC, I don't like the OKC matchup for them. I think they get bounced in the first. I mean, if they catch up, they play some different teams. I mean, I could definitely see them maybe making a conference finals run, but I see the most likely scenario where they're looking like is they're going to end up in the second round. But is there a scenario? What I'm saying, their ceiling. I mean, yeah, there is a path to where. I mean, they've been working the champs the last couple games. Got
and
anything you
again,
want to add?
I was gonna say again, we got that pedigree. You feel me? Obviously,
Hmm.
KD can't win it on his own, but he knows all of the things that it takes to win. You feel me? And he can instill that in his team. He can, when they get in certain moments, KD is the one that can tell you, like, all right, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. Just
All
give
right,
me the ball. Let's play.
Dallas. What's their ceiling? What's their
Dallas.
floor?
Um, Dallas's floor is losing in the first round. I don't see it, but their floor is losing in the first round. Their ceiling is going to be making it to the conference finals, although I don't see that. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
see them
hot right.
winning the
Oh,
championship.
I just want to let you know they're hot right now. They're 9-1, won 5 straight, so they're playing really well right now. Sacramento.
Sacramento is losing in the first round. So their ceiling is going to be making it to the second round. Their floor is first round exit.
Lakers are ninth right now. Wouldn't even make the playoffs. They will be in the play-in though. So what's their ceiling? What's their floor?
If they make it, they're going up against Denver. They don't make it out the first round. Um, So their ceiling is is crazy too because the Lakers are one of them teams where if they happen to get going, if somehow they squeeze past Denver, they could be a favorite to win. But I don't know if I see them beating Denver. So I guess their floor is going to be maybe like 6 games in the first round. Their ceiling, if they make it out the first round, their ceiling will be conference finals.
I think their floor is they miss the playoffs because right now they're in the ninth seed. They might not even get in. I'll put it this
Lakers
way:
without a LeBron.
have a higher ceiling.
Hey, you know what's funny about that? Part of it I feel has to do with like the role players, the people like D'Lo snapping and stuff. Anthony Davis is, Anthony Davis, but I feel like, when LeBron isn't out there, something that he did to that team has them like playing under fire without him. Like he told them, we need to play every game like we're trying to make it. Can you see my Twitter comments?
I mean, I can see your comments on here. I don't know if it comes up on Twitter as well, but yeah, we see your Twitter comments.
So
Um,
yeah, that's some
so hold
crazy.
on. So let's go with it. Golden State floor ceiling.
Golden State's floor is not making it to the playoffs. Their ceiling is probably making it to the second round,
Okay, and
making
then we
maybe
got
7 games.
then we got Houston still hanging around too. They have a chance to sneak in. Ceiling floor because I'm gonna say their ceiling is a sweep. Their floor is they just don't win.
Their floor obviously is not making it. Their ceiling would be first round exit, maybe 5 games.
And then the way it's shaping up, at least one will get in. It's looking like it's possible that two will get in, but
So the
KD,
same as me,
LeBron, Steph, at least one of them are going to miss the playoffs this year. Who would you put your money on?
Steph.
And that we are out. So appreciate it. Like, subscribe, check us out on Monday. Until then, we'll check y'all later. And
Be safe out there, y'all.
yeah, and just remember, you gotta.
I hit the gate and I hops on my Schwinn. And I tell the homies, alright then, yeah.
All
All
right
right,
then.
then.